really good. Yeah, have a seat. It's all good. All right, wow, nice big group. Welcome. Welcome. My name is Sher. So this is actually exciting. This is a bigger group than the last one. So we got a whole lot more people, and this is going to be a lot of fun. So let's talk about branding yourself into opportunity. I'm assuming we're all seniors here, right? What grades are everyone? You guys are all scattered, right? Okay, this is good because you're going to be able to pick up some skills here that you can use throughout high school and then into college and into your own real life. So basically, I want to talk to you about how you're going to be able to get life-changing personal branding. Anybody know what branding is? Anybody? You know what branding is? Okay, branding is when you take something and make it so that it's well known, so that it's seen by not just your family, but your friends, but also the whole world. That's how Coca-Cola became Coca-Cola. That's how McDonald's became McDonald's. Branding. You want to build your own personal brand, and that's what we're going to teach you today. So the question is, who am I? What do I do? Why am I here speaking? So I'm the founder of Sher. So if you notice, my last name is Sher, S-H-E-R. What do we do on social media? We share content, right? So somebody gave me an idea about 10 years ago. I was branding myself on social media. Why don't you start a company called Sher? So I did. And here we are. I started about 5 years ago. And I have a social media marketing agency. We service different businesses, salons, car dealers. And I'll get into why we service car dealers in a second. I'm also a business consultant. So I actually go into businesses and find out what their problems are as far as marketing, as far as sales, as far as strategy. And I come up with a solution to help them improve their business by 15, 20, sometimes 50%. And so why do I get into automotive? I spent 16 years in the automotive industry. I started selling cars when I was 19 years old. I was actually in college to be a school teacher. I ended up being a car salesman. And little did I know I was going to end up being an entrepreneur and getting into marketing and getting into public speaking. And it all started just by pure accident. Things happen. You know, some of us are going away to college. Things happen in life. Things happen where you might have money issues. You might have to take care of your family when you're 20 years old. Things happen. Things happen where, like, my parents at 20 years old moved out to Florida. I didn't want to go with them. I stayed here. And while going to school, I had to make more money than I was making. And I was doing good for a 19-year-old. I was working 3 jobs, paying my own way through college. But at the same time, all of a sudden, I wanted to be a big boy now, pay rent and pay all my bills. And that only lasted about 3 months. And then I went broke, and then I had to go work. So I got a real job, right, selling cars. And it changed my whole perspective. And this is, of course, right, maybe 5 years before social media became a big thing. Matter of fact, a lot of you probably don't even know. Anybody here ever heard of MySpace? Oh, wow, I'm actually impressed. MySpace was like the big thing. It's actually right before Facebook started. And now MySpace is all musical, I believe, right? So I got into sales. And with that, it changed my whole life around because I got into marketing, entrepreneurship, social media, and I took it to another level. I managed car dealerships. Actually managed a dealership not far from here for many years. Then I decided I want to get out of that and I want to get into marketing aspect of the car business. So I started to make myself well known. I started to speak at conferences. I started to write for national magazines. And sure enough, here I am, 16 years later. So the biggest question I'm going to ask you is, what are your plans? When I had a smaller group, it was easier because we had a few people, we were able to discuss it. So I'm going to pick maybe 1 or 2 people just out of the room, just engage a little bit. Here's one. What are your plans? Like, first of all, what grade are you in right now?
Freshman.
You're a freshman. Okay, so you have a long way to go. 4 years. Okay. What do you want to do when you get older?
No idea.
No idea yet. Okay. What do you like? What are your hobbies?
I don't really have hobbies. I guess I play sports.
Okay. Are you good at them?
Yeah,
So maybe you want to be an athlete?
I guess.
Okay. What sports?
Soccer.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So that could be a feature. So you don't know if you're going to go to college or if you're going to go right to work, or maybe you're going to be so talented that you're going to end up on the Olympic team. I actually grew up with somebody who, sophomore year, ended up going to the U.S. Olympics to play for Mia Hamm. So, and from my school, I'm from East Brunswick. So I know what that's all about. Things can change, right? Now, I ask you a question. What grade are you in?
I'm a senior.
Okay, what are your plans?
I'm going to go to college.
Okay. For what?
Business.
Okay. And after that, what do you think you want to do?
Get a job.
Okay. Get a job or start your own business, or?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll get a job.
Okay. See, there's a reason why I asked that question. Because when I was your age, I decided senior year because I love kids. I wanted to be a school teacher. I went to school to be a school teacher. And again, things happen. Life changes. You find yourself in a career that's completely different, that money becomes an issue, and then just what makes you happy becomes an issue. And I got good at what I was doing. And I said, I'm not going to be a teacher. And so that's why when I say what are your plans, you're going to distinguish between, are you going to go to work or are you going to go to school? Some people are not going to go to college, and that's fine. Some people are going to go to college. But what are you going to do while you're in college, and what are you going to do after you're done with college? The whole point of this whole workshop is for you to understand how to personally brand yourself so that you're able to get yourself the opportunities that you want past once all this is over with, because this is still going to be the easiest part of life. The hardest part of life is going to be when the bills start coming in, you have a mortgage to pay for, and you don't know what you're going to do to make that buck. And it happens, unfortunately, to everybody. So how are you going to get to this personal branding? By the way, are you guys all with me so far? Okay, good. How are you going to get there? Okay, so first I'm going to find out what you enjoy. That's why I asked you, do you enjoy what you do? Is that what you enjoy? Okay, and you're still a freshman. You have 4 years to decide. Maybe even 8 if you're going to college. Decide what you enjoy. Okay, same thing here. You want to do business, so we know that that's something that you enjoy. You might change it later on. Okay, but you will eventually find your niche. I know what I enjoy. I enjoy sales. I enjoy music. Unfortunately, I can't make a living in music, so I don't do it because I got to pay bills, right? But I enjoy sales. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy meeting people and educating them and helping businesses grow. Okay, so I took that and I made something out of it. I enjoyed selling, so I started to study my craft. I studied my craft through school, through YouTube. Unfortunately, school won't teach you sales. School won't teach you how to get what you want. School will teach you the basics, but this is going to help you go beyond what school's going to teach you, in my opinion. You know, YouTube is a great resource. When I was your age, I didn't have YouTube. And I'm only double your age. I'll be 36 next month. But I've been in your shoes before. YouTube is a great educational resource. Reading. There's a lot more. I was talking about this on the last session. There's a lot more to reading than just reading the literature books that you guys read. These are great literature books. They really are. But there's a lot of really important things out there for motivation, inspiration, business books, marketing books. These are all things and skills that you need for whatever it is you do in your life. Donate your time. Okay? You're going to need to, once you find what you like, you know, it's almost like an internship. When you're done with school, you're going to have an internship that you have to do to be able to land yourself a job, get yourself those recommendations. Donate your time. Utilize that time to obviously learn and keep improving. And if you're going to find a job, even now, even when you're a freshman or even when 15 years old, I started working when I was 14. Anything that you do, starting now, start to do it in a field that you might want to consider being a part of. You know, if you can be a counselor right now, maybe you want to be a teacher. You know, you can't obviously get a job at a bank, I don't think, right now, right? But it would be nice if you could. But maybe you could find a part-time job with a smaller company that's going to let you work in accounting or maybe do office work. Things that are going to be closer to your field. You want to do sports, okay? Start focusing on sports. Obviously, you can't work right now to get paid. You can't be Pele and make $1 million playing soccer right now. But, you know, at least you have to, that's where you're going to have to donate your time. But you want to get noticed, and this is what it's all about. It's getting noticed. How many people here social media like crazy? Like are all over Facebook or like they post Instagram stories every 2 seconds? You are. So am I. Okay. Okay. Listen, you guys are a younger crowd, so I'm asking that question. I mean, I would imagine that most people are. But then again, I could almost, by looking around the room, I can almost tell who is going to post a lot and be on Snapchat every 5 seconds. I can almost tell whose Instagram profile is just going to be like, you have to like actually request it and get permission to see their profile. And that's just by dealing with people. And, you know, I can almost tell. And it's a good thing. But we're going to talk about how it's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing too. But I want you guys to learn how to get noticed, how to build your personal brand. This is very important. Okay, so I talked about the 8 laws in the last session. There's 8 laws to a personal brand. Somebody else had a graphic. I really liked it, so I picked it up because it made a lot of sense to me. Okay, and you'll notice that there's a couple things in here that are more than once, and there's a reason for it. These are the points that hit home the hardest. You got to figure out what you're specializing in, and we talked about this. Figure out what it is that you like. Figure out what it is that you enjoy doing. You specialize in it. Then you're going to figure out how you're going to monetize it, how you're going to brand yourself so that everybody in the world knows that that's what you're good at. So once you get good at something, you have to become a leader because people want to follow leaders. People want to see that you're leading by example. They want to see that you're out there presenting things that you're actually doing and not just talking about. So you specialize, you lead. That's when you start building a team. That's when you start building a following, or maybe a cult, some might think, right? From there, I want you to get into personality. If you notice, there's personality here twice. Your personality is going to be one of the single most important things that you do in social media and getting recognized. People need to know what you're all about, all around. Some people like to go around and pretend on social media. Some people are going to make themselves look one way, but they're not going to really in real life be the same. I don't believe in that. I believe that we need to be who we are. In my opinion, personally with me, you'll be able to see what food I cook, when I go to the gym, when I play guitar, when I'm speaking right now on Facebook Live, right? All these things people need to be able to see so people know, what you're all about. Because what's going to happen in life is if you fall on tough times, if something bad happens to you, what's going to happen is you'd be surprised how many people come out of the woodwork to come help you. I've had 2 people in the last 6 months come out to help me with things that I haven't even seen in 20 years, just because they see what I'm all about. It's a good thing. That's called building your network. That's called building trust in people, getting people to like you, trust you, and want to deal with you. So with that comes your distinctiveness, right? Because your personality makes you distinct, okay? You're a very unique way of showcasing yourself and your ability. With that comes visibility. This is where you have to go hardcore a little bit. This is where you have to be all over the place. You have to be on LinkedIn, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, writing blogs. You want people to see everything that you're doing. Almost like celebrity status, but you can tone it down as you choose. Again, visibility is on here twice, right? Then how are you going to utilize that? How are you going to take all of this and make it work for you? To get people to follow you on LinkedIn, send you a recruiting message that they're interested in talking to you about a job. Those are things ultimately, when we're done with college, that's what we need, right? So why not start doing this when we're 15 years old as opposed to starting this when you're 25? LinkedIn came into my hands when I was, 24 years old. I wonder what would have happened if I knew about LinkedIn at 19. So think about that for a second. Utilize this. You're in the best time in history to be alive right now because all the opportunity is there for you. Okay? Establish your craft. We just talked about this. How to get noticed. Once you know what you're going to do, okay, from there you want to establish references, the people that you do business with, the people that you connect with, people that have something good to say about you. In this day and age, we call that social proof. Anybody heard those words before? Never heard of social proof before? Basically, it's like getting a review on Facebook about your business or somebody speaking highly of you. Okay, focus on your image. I joked about this earlier, right? And we talked about this before. Anybody study Hamlet so far? Some people might have not. Some people will. Okay, maybe we're a little younger crew. It's okay. This is basically a Shakespeare story. And there's a line there called, "To be or not to be, that is the question." Right? And it's usually the teacher with the skull doing things. So I made it, to be serious or not to be, that is the question. So focus on your image. Right now is the best time. Okay? And especially, you guys are all millennials, right? And I know that millennials catch a bad rap. Even I'm borderline a millennial. Even I catch it sometimes, right? And that's partially why I dress up in a suit and I try to do things. Even when I was your age, I used to come to school, I was more dressed up because I just wanted to be taken more seriously. And it definitely got me a little bit further, quicker in life. And so you're at the point now where you want to start getting taken seriously. The fun time's over. Obviously, you want to get into a good college. You want to get a decent job, right? You want people to take you seriously. So it's time for you to step up your game and to be more serious. And it looks like we have a pretty serious group here. You wouldn't be in this workshop if you didn't take life seriously. Do you guys agree? Everybody here looks, and I'm really impressed, everybody here looks like they're really serious about growth and opportunity for themselves. So focus on your image. Okay, don't get into fights on social media. Don't get into politics. Doesn't matter who the president is. You can't control it anyway. Okay, but Focus on the positive stuff. Focus on achievements. Focus on relationships. Focus on being there for the people that you care about. Trust me, it comes back a long way. I told you, people came out of the woodwork to help me with things that I haven't seen in 20 years. It's no joke. And that's how you're going to create your story. Your career, your extracurricular activities, all of that we just talked about is going to create your story. Oh, yep. So, which leads me to the next point. What time is it? We have time, right? Yeah. Leads me to the next point. Education. First of all, I want you to learn how to create a resume. And that's a whole other workshop lesson within itself. As a matter of fact, at the end of this, my email address is there. If anybody needs help with that, call me, text me, email me. I will gladly help you. I will spend 30 minutes with you and help you craft the story, and I'll show you what I mean. Because at the end of the day, this is going to sell you into all the other things you're going to do. So your education is important. You're in high school, you're going to go to college. That's going to be important, right? Okay, your work experience. Let's see here. Part-time job. You're a senior, I know that. Do you have any part-time jobs right now?
Junior.
You're a junior, I'm sorry.
I have 2 jobs.
What do you do?
I work at Circle Lanes on the weekends, and then I'm a dining server.
Okay.
At like a senior citizens place.
Okay, that's a hustle. That's a hustle. I worked 3 jobs when I was your age, so trust me, I was a lifeguard, 3 different places, and a swim instructor, so I'm all about that. Okay, this is good, because here's the thing, and I'm glad I picked on you, because is there anything that you've done in your job that has made a difference in somebody's life, whether it be a senior citizen or whether it be at Circle Lanes?
Yeah.
Give me an example.
At like Circle Lanes, I do the parties, so
Okay.
I'm always like talking with the kids, and like I'm
Okay.
always interacting with people.
Okay. And what does that result in usually? And do you get tips? Do you get?
Yeah.
Okay. Does it result in more tips?
Yeah.
Does it result in the customer spending more money at the place because they like coming to deal with you?
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine if you were able to utilize that as part of your story. See, I'm talking about create eye-popping descriptions. Okay, just right now, that story right there, you could make an eye-popping description. Anybody else here have a part-time job? What do you do?
I work at a restaurant right now.
Okay, what kind of restaurant?
It's kind of new. It's called Broadway County.
Okay. Excellent, excellent. So it's a new restaurant. Are you doing anything to impact that restaurant to make it a better place?
I'm waiting. I'm like trying to learn how to do everything there because it's my first job. So.
Okay. We got to start somewhere. Now, here's an idea for you. I highly recommend this. Every time you have good customer service, every time you have a customer that's happy, ask them to go give you a review online. Write down your name so they remember who you were. So when they go home or maybe in front of you, they can do a review. Because now you can help that business have better reviews. The business can get more people coming there. So now you can then turn around and say on your resume 5 years from now, hey, look, I helped a brand new business establish a good reputation. That's what employers want to see. That's the difference between not having anything and having something. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions? No? I guess you're good. Okay, cool. Okay, so that's going to be your story. Okay, your achievements, your contributions. What awards did you get? Did you get any awards playing soccer? Okay, did you get promoted to manager in 6 months because you were a young prodigy? Okay, did you get promoted to manager because you were doing something special? Those are things that are very important. I became a manager in my career at 23 years old. Very difficult to become a 23-year-old manager in what I was doing. Very, very difficult. And so, again, that's an achievement, right? So, any publicity. Did you get featured in the paper? Were you on the internet? Did you get any awards? Were you Employee of the Month? How many times were you Employee of the Month? All these things need to be highlighted in your resume. And then you get a professional that's done work with you, give you a good review. It's that simple. Okay, and I'll give you a good example of all that. Everything I just talked about. Can anybody read what's up here? Can you guys see everything? Okay, this is an example. This is actually me. I actually spent a year working with a company serving car dealers. And my position was Director of Dealer Relations. It was a small company. Okay, I had 6 remote technicians under me. We did interior reconditioning for pre-owned cars and dealerships. And we had about 50 dealer clients. So then what I did was I created some value-added brochures and marketing so that we can have the dealer client better be able to sell a car and present it, because Some of you guys drive here, so I'm sure some of you don't, but I'm sure that if you're going to buy a car, you want the car to be nice, spotless, and clean. And if it's not a new car, you want it to be as close to a new car. Would you agree? Okay, so what do? We created a marketing initiative. Okay, what else do? We created brand awareness for social media. You guys already know I'm a social media guy, right? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to promote this. As a matter of fact, I spoke on this topic at a conference in Florida. I manage relationships with my dealers and vendors covering 3 states. I also handled all sales and marketing, and we grew the company 15%. Now, why is this important? So if the company makes $1 million a year and I grew it 15%, that's $150,000 a year. That's a pretty big number, don't you think? Is that a big number? Okay, so if I can go ahead and show that I helped increase the revenue $150,000 a year in the business, do you think this whole story, you think that's going to get me a higher paying job? Do you think it's going to get me a career opportunity? It will, right? Social proof, right? So that's the whole point. So this is an example of the kind of story you need to tell. Now, we're going further with this, okay? Your contributions, I talked about that, okay? And these are mine, but you'll have yours, okay? Like, for instance, I was Council of Sales Leadership for Honda for 3 years. I was a 5-time speaker at a conference. I was part of Toastmasters, which I talked about Toastmasters before. Every one of you needs to get your communication skills up. I'm not talking about using Facebook. Right now, the biggest trend is, even in households, people are on their phones more than they talk to each other. It's kind of weird. I myself spent 5 hours on social media yesterday. It's crazy. And the reality is we need to improve our communication skills. So Toastmasters is a great way to do that. Every one of you is going to need to learn how to be a public speaker to become an effective, competent communicator. Toastmasters is basically, and when you get a little older, maybe when you're in college, you join Toastmasters, and it's a once-a-week, 2-hour meeting. You network with like-minded people. Some of them are real professionals, and basically you practice public speaking. Nobody's there to make fun of you. They basically sit there, and you can create your own speeches, and they'll basically critique you so that they help you be better. And you make friends that way. I'm still friends with like 10 people from my Toastmasters group. I haven't been in Toastmasters in probably 6 years. And it's great networking, and it's great to be able to do this. I could never do what I'm doing right now if it wasn't for that. And you're all going to have to do it. If you're going to become executives in companies, you're all going to have to publicly speak at some point in your life. So these are things that I'm proud of being a part of. I've written for magazines in my industry that I was in. So these are all things that are very important. By the way, the first time you get published, I got published at 25 years old, the very first time in a magazine. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. It went out to 60,000 people. I'm like, yay, I'm famous, right? Think about that. That's what happens. You get excited, right? But then what happens 10 years later when it's happened about 100 times? It's just like, yeah, whatever. You lose your humbleness a little bit. It's like, yeah, whatever. I'm in a magazine. I've been in 10 of them already. Big deal, right? But at the same time, for people that don't know you, it is a big accomplishment to be able to see that. Does that make sense? So now we're going to take everything I just talked about and we're going to go social. So nobody really cares about Google Plus, right? Yeah, I really don't either. YouTube, we all watch YouTube, right? We watch funny videos, we watch motivational videos, right? YouTube is very big. You need to be on YouTube if you're going to become a brand. You want to brand yourself. Twitter, I have a lot of my posts going through there, but I don't really check it that much. LinkedIn, that's going to be big for your career. LinkedIn is going to be huge for your career. Instagram is amazing. I mean, I use it like crazy. Snapchat, I'm not a fan. I don't know why. I just can't get myself into it. Been trying for 5 years now. I'm sure most of you are on Snapchat. It's a big thing. I get it. I just, for some reason, couldn't get into it. Maybe it's the old man in me. I don't know. But I love Instagram. I love Facebook. In my opinion, the most important things for you is going to be Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. Anybody disagree with me on that? Okay. Only a couple of heads rolling. Okay. So let's show you how we're going to take this to a social level. You want to go public. Now, back in my day, when I was your age, to build a website would cost like $10,000, $20,000. It was like a rarity, right? Anybody here know how to build a website? Someone does. You do? Okay, WordPress?
No, you use Google Sites.
Okay, Google. Okay, perfect. That's a good one. WordPress is one. Obviously, I'm sure people have heard of too. You could build a website for $100. Buy a domain for $10. Get creative. There's templates out there. Anyone can have a website today, and there's a lot of different companies out there that have templated websites for you to brand your name. So very important for you to create that for yourself. Once you start getting in the marketplace with your career, with whatever you want to do, display your resume. And now, we went to school for a reason, right? To learn how to read and write. Well, guess what? Start writing content. Start writing a blog about something that you're going to be doing in your field. Start writing a blog about something informative, something that you did that's very impressive at school, at work. Something that's going to get people to read and get interested and engage with you more. Okay? Establish that LinkedIn profile. Maybe it's a little early for some of you. Seniors, you might want to start considering this as you get into college. I would say once you get to senior year, in my opinion, you should probably start doing that, because that's when you start putting your part-time jobs in there. That's when you start connecting with people. And I'll tell you this right now. When you're 17, 18 years old and you connect with a 50-year-old that's an executive, that's successful in their career, and you start making friends with them and you start communicating with them, guess what? It creates opportunity for you when it's time for you to move up in the world in corporate America, because now you have that friend, you have somebody to give you a recommendation, somebody that can help you get a job somewhere. Very, very important. You know, social networking is not just Facebook and Instagram. Social networking is actually talking to people and communicating. And that's where I think LinkedIn is great on a professional level. I want you to be able to create a story from the resume that we just talked about. Not a 5-sentence description, but a real story. If you guys get a chance, look at mine. I'll show you the link at the end. Look me up and you'll see what I mean. Create a real story. At one point, and this is not to brag, I got an email about 4 years ago. I was the top number 1% of LinkedIn users in the world. It was kind of cool to get that. I don't know if they changed their analytics, but I haven't gotten that email ever since. So create your story. Connect with people that you know first. Family, friends, people that you're working with now. Anybody that you know, connect with them first. Then make it a point to connect with only 5 new people daily. 5 new people that are influential to whatever it is you're trying to do. Just 5. What's 5 times 7? 35? 35 people a week. Do that over 50 weeks. Take a 2-week vacation. Right? See what happens. You build up a network. I have like 18,000 people on my network. I don't even know half the people, but the opportunities start pouring in. Okay, join industry-related communities, blogs. Whatever it is that you're going to do, get on it. For me, it was automotive. I was a part of like 5 different blogs. I wrote for them. I did articles every couple of days. I did videos. I kind of died down from it because I got more into social media. But whatever it is you do, whether it be photography, whether it be soccer, whether it be swimming, whether it be music, you want to be a doctor, there's blogs. Get yourself known. Start putting yourself out there. People are going to engage with you, I promise you. And do 2 a month. The only reason why I say 2 a month is because you don't want to get too annoying. There's people in my industry that sometimes annoy me because it's just way too much stuff. I've learned to either go really crazy and post a lot or dial it down for 6 months to a year and then come back again. Because what happens is when people start to get curious, where is he? Where is she? What's going on? And then you come back hard, it's like, oh wow, he's alive. Okay, great, I can see more content. You want to keep building people's excitement. Okay, so LinkedIn. Well, as you build up your LinkedIn and your connections, start writing articles, 1 to 2 a month. Again, different topics. Look up my LinkedIn if you get a chance, and you'll get to see what I mean. Facebook, 1 to 2 posts a day. Instagram, Snapchat, post 2 times per day, update your stories daily. Industry-related network community, 2 articles a month. We just talked about that. 1 blog a week on your own site, okay, and get published in your industry magazines. I'm telling you, that's the quickest way by the time you're 21 to be able to be a subject matter expert. Once you become a subject matter expert, people are going to be calling you left and right to do something with you. You know, you don't have to wait for somebody to refer you now. You can build it yourself. It's work. It's hard work. But that's the way you're going to get somewhere in life in 2019. Does that make sense? You guys enjoying this so far? Okay, good. Video content. This is almost one of the last things. Anybody here put videos on YouTube? Nobody? A little bit? Okay. If you start doing all the other stuff I'm talking about, this is part of your branding. There's 6-year-old kids out there. I talked about this in the last session. There's 6-year-old kids out there making millions of dollars reviewing toys. Heard about that? Literally, reviewing toys. Just doing a video showing off a cute little toy, right? So if they can do that, why can't you create a business for yourself? Why can't you make videos and become an expert on whatever it is that you like doing to get people to watch? Get comfortable speaking on camera. You know, for me, bless you. For me, I'm comfortable speaking on camera now. get to the point where you want to be able to do a video on the fly without having to practice or read a script, and you know what you're talking about. Every time I do a video, every time, 99.8% of the time I do a video, I usually do it right on one take. Once in a while, you get one or two videos where you just kind of add in like that, I'm going to redo it. But the reason why I say this, you want to get comfortable to the point where if you're comfortable on camera, it doesn't matter if you mess up, you can still fix it. The way you get comfortable being on camera is obviously you practice. And obviously I talked about Toastmasters and public speaking before. And the way you do that, in my opinion, is this. You start out with doing one video weekly. You figure out what tools you want to use, what camera you want to use. Obviously I'm using my iPhone, right? Then you want to go to 2 weeks, 2 videos weekly, and then you want to go to 1 video daily. And then, of course, you want to scale it up and down depending on what you want to do. Again, this is more so people see you. They don't forget about you. I put up memes sometimes. I do little quotes, but a lot of times I'll do a quick 60-second video. The reason why I like doing 60-second videos, 1, it's quick, short to the point, and 2, it's because Instagram only really allows you 60 seconds unless you want to go to Instagram TV. But videos are important. Here's an example of me doing a commercial for a client like 2 years ago. Okay, network in person. This is important. I talked about social networking, not just being social media, but also meeting with people. Meetup groups. There's a website called meetup.com. Once you start going out more in the world, meet people at whatever it is you want to do, salsa dancing, you want to do Tai Chi, yoga, you want to play guitar, you want to talk business, you want to talk social media, you want somebody to help you with your resume. These are great networking groups. A lot of really good people out there. Attend conferences. When you get a little older in your career, attend conferences and conventions in your field. Events like this, even something like this, by meeting people like myself and other speakers here, these are good things for you to be able to see and connect with. Make friends with your vendors and business partners. Okay, very important. People that you do business with, get to know them. Connect with them on LinkedIn. You're going to need them at some point when you want to make a career move. Connect with industry leaders. We talked about that. People that are CEOs of companies. Okay? Stay relevant, stay coachable, stay real. Very, very important. This is I think it's in the end, right? So continue to learn and grow. Don't stop. Do not stop learning. Be confident, but be humble. Anybody watch a Karate Kid before? Or is everyone too young? Okay. Cobra Kai's on. You guys watch Cobra Kai? It's on YouTube. It's the extension of the Karate Kid. So Mr. Miyagi, you guys remember Mr. Miyagi? Mr. Miyagi in one of the movies was talking about how somebody always knows more. Somebody might be a little better than you, no matter how great you are. And here's the thing. Listen, I think I'm the best at some things, but I know that there's going to be somebody better than me. And I've learned that in life. And you will too. Okay, you have to be confident, but be humble, because no matter how great you are, there's always going to be somebody with a natural, God-given talent or with a skill set that they grow, that they learn a certain way, that's going to actually be able to maybe be better. So be very humble with your dealings. Ride the fame. That's another one. Ride the fame wave. So if you're running hot and people are connecting with you, people are watching, ride that wave as long as you can. But when it slows down, slow down with it. Because if it slows down, but yet you're still going hard, people are not going to take you seriously. So ride the wave and then slow down and then come back. Like I told you before, turn it up and down when you can. Know when to go hard and know when to lighten up, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. No politics, no arguments. Stay away from that. I don't do politics. I think it's crazy to do politics online, arguments. I've gotten into a couple years ago, and guess what? It does nothing but cause you trouble and hurt your reputation. So get out of that. Okay, keep it positive. You got nothing nice to say? What did they always say? If you got nothing nice to say, don't say it, right? Exactly. Lesson that I've learned. Hard lesson that I've learned. So same thing on social media. Keep it friendly, keep it positive. Be friendly with everybody. And that's really what it comes down to. Wow, perfect timing too. So let's connect. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Have you had any roadblocks in your career, like interviewing, making money?
Roadblocks. My biggest roadblock, and I'll be honest, I'm a college dropout. And I dropped out of college twice. I'm still paying off my loans. Roadblocks, it really depends on what you're trying to go after. I can't go after a job that's going to require me to have a master's degree, but I have enough experience to be able to own my own business and do just as well for myself. So are there roadblocks? I think for me, the roadblocks were at a young age. I grew up faster. I said earlier, I became a manager when I was 23 years old in a high-paying career, right? So not many people do that. You guys are going to be 23 when you get out of college, right? You're going to get into entry-level jobs. Some of you might start on the path of entrepreneurship now and become a millionaire by the time you're 23, right? So the roadblocks that I had at 23 years old is that for me, there was jobs that I wasn't able to get. And you know what? Now I'm 35. I'll be 36 next month, and I don't even think about that anymore. But they're going to be there. The biggest thing with roadblocks, though, is always look at it as a stepping stone. Always look at it as a lesson. And, you know, for my own, like, cockiness a little bit, I'll say that I was like, oh, they didn't want me. It's their loss. And I just move on because there's so many other opportunities out there. If you're really desperate for a job, spend 3 hours on Indeed and look for every possible thing you can do. I've done that before. And I've applied to 150 jobs in one night. And guess what? I've gotten 5 calls. And I've gotten 3 offers. And it's happened before. So don't let any roadblock stop. The biggest thing is don't get negative. Stay positive. You know, think with an open mind. And be willing to learn. Anybody else have a question? No, you guys are good. Question?
When did you start working?
When did I start working? 14. 14 years old. I started out as a badge checker for a pool management company. And at 15, I became a lifeguard. And I was a lifeguard from 15 to 21. In the middle of the year when I started having my license at 17, I was in between going to school, wrestling, and doing martial arts. I was working weekends as a lifeguard. I was teaching swimming lessons. 19 years old, I bought my first brand new car. Had a 740 credit score at 19 years old. I started doing credit cards at 18. And paid for my first 2 years of college in cash. And you know what? It was great. And even when I started to sell cars, I worked on my days off. I was still certified. So back in that time, I was making a couple extra bucks lifeguarding. Then when my certification ran out, I was done because I heard you had a career. Now, so my advice is start working as early as you can. Build up the ethics. My parents did not force me to go to work. I didn't come from a rich family, middle-class family. I had to earn everything. If I had good grades, I wanted to get $100 sneakers, they got me $100 sneakers. But I didn't just randomly like get spoiled or get a CD player. Back then we got CD players. You know, now we have iPhones, right? I didn't randomly just get spoiled. I had to earn everything. So big hobby for me was buying CDs at the time, buying music. And I used to make a lot of money. I probably spent 40 grand on music and movies. I was a big collector in my day. But you know, for me, it was the work ethic was there. I always went to work, and I always did it. And if you can start now at an early age, in 5 years when you're 23, people are not going to look at you as that typical millennial. People are going to be like, oh, wow, they're serious. They have a resume. At 21 years old, I had a serious resume with 3 jobs. And I'm just telling you, just start the initiative now. I know we're young, but now is the time. Bless you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have questions? You guys are good? Did you guys like this?
Yes.
Anybody, if you guys have any questions, if you guys want me to help you with a resume, if you guys want me to give you some kind of coaching advice, all my information's here. You can connect with me at Sher. You can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'll be more than happy to, share some time with you guys and give you any pointers that you need. All right? Thank you guys so much. Yeah.